In the Clark family, Anna was the youngest child. There were 5 of them, all girls. Their mother, Mrs. Laura, always dreamed of giving birth to a son for her husband, but unfortunately, only girls were born. "I did everything, listened to everyone, but it's all in vain," she said. "Look, there are 5 girls running around the yard. I would have tried again, of course, but the doctors forbade it, and my husband doesn't want anything anymore. He says, let's raise these girls and give them an education." Laura complained to her neighbor, Zara. "But you have helpers growing up. Look, your eldest will finish school soon, go to college, get an education, and by the time the others finish school too, Anna is still little, but before you know it, she'll grow up." "Yes, when will that be?" "It's hard right now. I also want to go to work. My husband can't handle it alone. I've seen what's happening in the stores. Prices are skyrocketing, but salaries aren't increasing." "Well, they did increase the salary. My husband recently brought it home, and I was ecstatic with happiness. They even gave them a bonus because they exceeded the production target at the factory. So your husband should have brought home some money too." "Wait, when did he bring it home to you, Laura? Seriously, you're acting like you've come from another planet." "Well, our men received their salaries 3 days ago, and mine brought it home then. I don't understand anything. They told me they didn't raise the salary and brought me the usual amount. I was disappointed, but then I thought maybe they'll raise it next month as they promised. But it turns out they already did." "Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like your Stephen is up to something." Laura looked closely at Zara, whom she had known for a long time, and saw that she wanted to say something but hesitated. "Come on, Zara, spill it. I can see your eyes darting around. Just tell me what you know. If you don't, I'll find out anyway, but I'll be upset with you. It's not confirmed information, but people are saying that he's involved with a new coworker. She recently started working at the factory, I think as a crane operator. So, he's having an affair behind my back, spending money on someone. Oh, I wish I could say it out loud, but with the kids around and lying to me, Laura? Well, it's all not certain. Maybe they're just lying. Then where is all the money? So, he didn't receive his full salary, the loan, right? You know what, Laura? Why speculate? Just ask him yourself." In the evening, after waiting for her husband to come home from work, Laura asked him directly, "Tell me, who are you involved with? Just be honest. You know I can sense lies, and it will only make things worse for you." "What's there to hide?" said Stephen, looking at his wife. "I fell in love with another woman, that's all." "Wait, you have a family, 5 children. You fell in love? And what about us? Did you ever think about us?" "I've always been thinking about you all, but I think you forgot that I'm still a man, not just someone who brings money home. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror lately? You've become as fat as a pig. You've surrounded yourself with children like a hen, and you do nothing. The girls do all the household chores. They're already grown up. Anna can go to daycare. Go and work yourself. But no, you're a mother. You're not allowed. Well, I'm tired of it. I'm leaving you. I'll pay child support as required, and I think you can take care of yourself. You won't starve. After all, you've accumulated so much fat." Laura looked at her husband in astonishment. Stephen was always very calm. You would never hear a word too many from him. And now this. "Stephen, please understand. I just thought that everything was fine with you. You never said anything. You were silent. I know I'm to blame for being silent. I just thought that maybe that's how it should be. That the children would grow up, and we wouldn't get any younger. But as it turns out, I'm still capable of love, and I want to be loved too. Well, what about me? You won't leave me, right?" Stephen silently turned and left the house. Laura slumped into a chair and started crying. Anna had heard the whole conversation. She didn't quite understand what was being said, but she felt very sorry for her mom. "Please don't cry. Please don't. Oh, just leave me alone. I feel sick even without you. When will you grow up already? I'm fed up with everything." Anna tactfully moved away from her mother but didn't leave. She simply stood silently nearby. Stephen packed his things and left. He believed that there was nothing more to talk about with his wife, and what else could be said? He had fallen in love like a little boy, and he couldn't even stand to look at Laura anymore. The house was quiet. The girls still couldn't believe that their father had left them. Their mom had gone out somewhere and had been gone for over an hour. "Biddy, what do you think Mom will do now?" "How should I know? Maybe she'll find a job after all. Anna isn't so little anymore. She can stay at home alone." "Yeah, that's right. We study in the morning and renew our studies in the afternoon. So everything's fine. We'll keep an eye on her." Anna listened to her sister's conversation while thinking about where Mom could be. After all, it was autumn outside, cold, and her mom had left wearing just a thin blouse. Putting on her jacket and a wind outside, it was getting dark. A dog was barking somewhere, and she could hear neighbors arguing. She walked along the fence, and then she noticed someone in the distance. She approached closer and saw Laura sitting on the ground, leaning against the fence, and snoring. The smell of alcohol emanated from her. Mommy, let's go home. It's cold to sleep here." Laura mumbled something but still didn't wake up. Anna wanted to call her sisters, but she was afraid to leave her mom like that. Besides, she thought that her mom would probably wake up soon. So she sat down next to her, snuggling close, thinking it would keep them warmer. It grew even darker, and a light drizzle started with its gentle rustling. It seemed to lull them, and Anna didn't notice when she fell asleep. She woke up from the cold, looked around, and didn't see anyone. Her mom wasn't there. Jumping up, Anna headed home. Her legs wouldn't listen, they were swollen and frozen. She entered the house and approached the stove. It was quiet, everyone must have been asleep. Anna wasn't surprised that no one had been looking for her. They usually forgot about her most of the time. But why did her mom not wake her up and leave on her own? She couldn't find an answer to that question. After warming up a bit, she stood up and went to her mother's room. Her mom lay across the bed without even undressing. Anna sighed and went to her own room to lie down on her bed. She didn't feel like undressing either and simply took off her jacket and dove under the covers. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't warm up. She began to shiver, and she drifted off to sleep only towards dawn. Strange dreams filled her sleep. Anna was awakened by cold hands touching and turning her. It was unpleasant, and she whimpered. "Shoo, shoo, little one. I'll examine you gently, and you mustn't cry." Opening her eyes, Anna saw a young woman in a white coat. The light painfully stung her eyes, and she closed them again. The woman examined her, then turned to Laura and said, "She needs to be taken to the hospital urgently. I'm afraid she has pneumonia." "How did you manage to get the child so cold?" "Well, I don't know. You can't keep an eye on them all the time. How am I supposed to know where she was running around? As far as I know, you don't work anywhere, just like you, sitting at home. You don't know what your child is up to." "Well, she's not the only one I have. You see for yourself, I have 5 of them." "So what? They're old enough already. Besides, I can see you're drinking. I will have to report this to the child welfare authorities. Let them deal with you, and I'll take the girl with me. She urgently needs hospitalization." Anna barely remembered that moment, how she arrived at the hospital and how long she stayed there. Her mother didn't come to visit her, and neither did her sister. The only thing that made Anna happy was her father's visits. He was by her side all the time. When she started feeling better, he asked her where she could have caught such a cold. She honestly told her father, hoping he would feel sorry for her mother and return to their family. But it turned out the opposite. He jumped up, said he would be back soon, and left somewhere. He only returned in the evening, angry and thoughtful. Anna, I wanted to ask you something. Would you like to live with me? Oh, Dad, of course. You know how much I love you. And my sisters will live with you too, right? No, kitten, just you and me. Well, also Mrs. Lucy. We'll leave this place. What do you say? Are you okay with that? But what about Mom and Betty, Nora, Gracie, and Sarah? They'll be sad without us. They won't come. They want to stay with their mother. The child welfare authorities are handling them now. But the girls are firmly on Mom's side. They say she's good and takes care of them. If they come to you, you must tell them everything you told me, okay? No, Dad, I don't want to. I can't. I can't let them blame Mom. She was just feeling bad. That's why she did what she did. Her father looked at his daughter and almost cried. Because of her mother, she almost died, and yet she tries to protect her. Her father took Anna from the hospital to live with him. Anna didn't understand why she couldn't see her sisters and her mother, but she understood that they probably didn't want to see her. Mrs. Lucy, why doesn't Mom come to see me? Is she mad at me? Well, Anna, there was recently a court hearing, and your father wanted them to leave you with him. As it turned out, your mother didn't mind. So now you'll stay with your father, and your mother most likely didn't love you very much because, in my opinion, a good mother should fight for her child. Soon, they moved from the settlement where they lived to the city. It turns out that her father had been invited to work at a huge factory for a long time because he was an excellent specialist. Upon arrival, they were immediately given an apartment that Anna really liked. Moreover, she now had her own room with a door, and when she played there, she felt like she was in a fairy tale. And the door separated her from the real world. After the incident of Anna ending up in the hospital, she would fall seriously ill every autumn and spring. Her father didn't have time, so Mrs. Lucy would take her to the hospitals. I would have torn your mother apart with my bare hands, honestly. Well, is that what a mother does, getting her child so sick? Poor girl. It's good if everything turns out fine, but what if it doesn't, Mrs. Lucy? What are you talking about? What won't turn out fine? You're still too young to know about such things, and I can't explain it to you yet. By the way, you're starting school this year. Didn't you forget? No, I really want to learn. And will you enroll me in that school that we can see from our house? Of course, Anna. You'll study near our home. Anna loved studying. She was an excellent student. Her father proudly told his colleagues about his daughter who was so smart. The only problem was that Anna continued to get sick very often. Let's take Anna to the seaside during the summer, the doctors say. It would be beneficial for her since her whole body is weak from all the colds. I still can't imagine how it could have happened, but I know perfectly well. Anna told me everything that happened when she was in the hospital, and her father told Lucy the whole story. How dreadful. I couldn't understand it at all before. How could something like this happen? Well, now everything is clear. I'll inform the doctors because they keep asking me, and I don't know what to tell them. Poor girl, how much she has endured, and she didn't tell me anything. That's what it means for a child to love their mother, to be afraid of causing her harm when the mother doesn't care about her own child. You know, I didn't understand before either. I thought all families lived like this, children, house, a wife who knows what she does all day. I come home hungry, wanting something hot to eat, hoping my wife would smile at me. But no, it's not like that at all. The conversations are always about money. Just recently, she called me at work and asked why I don't give her half of my salary. And what did you say? I told her that I give her everything that the court has awarded. She's perfectly capable of working herself, so she should go and earn her own money. Our eldest daughter has already started working. She didn't want to go to college, but I think Laura talked her out of it because then she would have to work. I don't understand how is that even possible, huh? I can't even imagine myself without a job. Well, now I don't work as a crane operator anymore. I'm in the HR department, and you know, Anna gets sick frequently, so someone needs to take care of her. That's why I work from home, and it works for everyone. Yes, you're amazing. You make me and Anna happy. I thought you would be against having our daughter live with us, but after that situation, I realized she would perish there. Her own mother wouldn't take care of her like you do. Stop it, Stephen. I liked Anna even before, and after what I found out, I will take care of this child and do everything I can to help her recover. Gradually, Anna grew older, healthier, and became less prone to illness. There was only one thing that bothered Lucy: she remained painfully thin. Anna, why do you eat so little? You need to gain some weight. I recently saw your classmates, and I almost fell over. They looked so grown up already. Mama Lucy, well, I'm in 10th grade already. Of course, they look grown up. I'm just the youngest and skinniest in the class. Lucy smiled. She loved how Anna called her mama. After hearing that word, her heart instantly felt warm and bright. After all these years living together with Stephen, they still didn't have any children of their own. Lucy understood that the problem was with her, since her husband already had children. Anna really liked Lucy. She gradually forgot about her mother and vaguely remembered her sisters who hadn't made contact all this time. She knew they had already finished school and heard her father say that they all worked as milkmaids, while her mother, as usual, stayed at home. Well, that's it. The girls are working now, and I don't pay alimony anymore. And what about their education? None of them pursued higher education. No, like I said, Laura wouldn't allow it. She herself is uneducated and didn't give them much of an education either. I feel sorry for the girls. I tried to intervene, but she threatened me with court. Well, at least they're working. But we'll educate Anna. She's smart. Do you know what she wants to study? She hasn't told me anything yet. I know she plans to apply to the law school. Well, isn't that something? And what does she want to be, a judge or a lawyer? She hasn't decided yet, but I think she'll figure it out in due time. Indeed, Anna hadn't made a final decision yet, but she was certain that she wanted to apply to law school. Her friends were puzzled and suggested that she should become a doctor or a teacher instead, since she was small and frail. But she stubbornly insisted on pursuing a legal career. She believed that strength didn't lie in physical size, but in one's mind. She spoke about it with her friends, who didn't argue and were amazed. Each of them envied this unassuming girl. They couldn't explain it themselves. It was simply because Anna knew how to be a good friend, keep other secrets, reconcile those who quarreled, and explain things when someone was wrong. After graduating from high school, Anna easily got accepted into college. Lucy organized a dinner to celebrate this milestone. Anna liked the friendship they had. She tried not to think about her mother anymore, although deep down, she felt a slight resentment. But she had forgiven her a long time ago and let go of any grudges. Even back in school, she had tried to reach out to her sisters to let them know that she remembered them and loved them, but she never received any response. During her third year of college, Anna met Oliver, who was a year older. He was just as much of a nerd as she was, and they found each other fascinating. They quickly found common topics to discuss. Oliver started coming over to their house often, and Anna could see that her mom, Lucy, treated him very well. Why do you call Lucy Mom instead of just Mom? At first, I thought I misheard, but now I understand it's intentional. Why is that? She's not my biological mother, she's my father's second wife. I would never have guessed. She treats you like her own, that's rare these days. I love her very much too. I vaguely remember my biological mother, but she didn't love us. I'm sure of that now. Maybe you're mistaken. After all, you said there were 5 of you. A woman who doesn't love children wouldn't have had so many. No, you are mistaken. She did it all for the money. At that time, there were benefits for large families, and they had a nice house. So, she made an effort. My father said they initially lived in an apartment, but when they started having children, the factory gave them a big house. And that's where I was born. How did it happen that you stayed with your father? It's a long story, and it's very unpleasant for me. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it right now. Maybe someday I'll tell you, although it's unlikely. The most important thing is that I'm very happy and decisive. We have a wonderful family. You didn't even realize that my mom isn't my biological mother, that's for sure. It's different in my family. I'm like Elmer, my parents couldn't have children for a long time, and then I was born. They should be happy, but my father started suspecting my mom that I'm not his biological child, and that she cheated on him. Now, they're sorting things out. Honestly, I'm tired of it all. I feel for you. It's tough when parents argue. The summer flew by quickly. Anna went to visit Lucy's longtime acquaintance, with whom they had studied together. Then they went their separate ways. So many years have passed. Lucy, Mom, and you're still friends. This coming from someone who still keeps in touch with her friends. Weren't you the one who always told me that female friendship can be very strong? Yes, I remember. But I thought it's easier when you live in the same city, unlike you two. Yet, you still communicate. Vanessa and I have been together since school. She has helped me so many times, and I've tried to help her when she needed it. By the way, do you still talk to Oliver, or is your friendship over? We still talk. He also went away with his parents for the whole summer. They have to do some repairs at their grandmother's house. He told me about it. Anna, I wanted to ask you. Do you at least like him a little? Well, I mean not just as a friend, but as a boyfriend. Lucy, Mom, what kind of questions are these? Well, you're a grown-up girl, studying in your 4th year. Aren't there any guys you like? I don't know. Oliver and I are always together, but he's just my friend. And besides, who would look at me like that, small and skinny? You're wrong. You're a very beautiful girl. Besides, you're like a statuette, slender and very beautiful. Really? I thought guys liked long-legged beauties. Anna and Oliver started seeing each other less frequently. It was his final year, and he was preparing for his thesis defense. During this time, Anna tried to meet up with her friends who constantly called her and complained that she wasn't paying them any attention. Anna, we have one more year of studying left, and then it's all adult life. By the way, do you have any plans to get married? Well, that's not funny at all, Amanda. You know very well that I don't. I'm not joking. You should take a look at yourself in the mirror. Yes, we've been walking through the park for so long, and all the guys are looking at you. But you don't even notice. Honestly, you're turning from an ugliest duckling into a beautiful swan. Anna paid no attention to her friend's words. She had no plans to get married for now. Besides, her father recently met his former comrade in arms with whom he served in the military. He was a bank director, quite well off and business-oriented. They got talking, and her father told his friend that his daughter was already in her 5th year of studying law. Listen, I actually need a lawyer. We have one, but he's busy with other matters, so I need another one who will specifically help me, someone who understands everything, knows the laws. Right now, it's impossible to make a proper deal. There are always some hidden pitfalls. It's risky. She was thrilled when she heard her father's story and that she was being hired at the bank. Listen, Anna, we urgently need to change your wardrobe, Lucy said when she heard her father's story. Your shirts and jeans won't do. Alright, let's just get one suit for now, and then we'll completely refresh your wardrobe with the first paycheck. You know, Mom, I've been relying on you for so long already. I want to start contributing my share too. Anna was at the bank for the first time, so to speak, from the other side. The director scrutinized Stephen's daughter and Yuri, quite young and petite. I'm not sure if I should hire you or not. Well, that's great, Mr. Nicholas. No one would ever think that I understand anything. And when people are relaxed, thinking I don't understand a thing, it will be easier for us to catch them in deceit. Mr. Nicholas burst into laughter upon hearing such words from such a petite girl. Exactly. We'll appear together, and everyone will think you're just another airhead. Mistress of mine, they won't pay any attention to you. Meanwhile, you should thoroughly check everything, review all the documents I'll be signing, study them well. Don't worry, Mr. Nicholas, everything will be done as it should. Here it is, 6 months have passed since Anna started working at the bank. The director adores her. Well, no wonder. She has saved him from so many questionable deals. Some of them seemed completely legal and legitimate at first glance. But not so fast, Stephen, you don't have a daughter, you have a guardian angel. What a daughter you've raised. I wasn't so lucky, as my son is a good-for-nothing. He studied abroad and then decided to work there. And now he's returning home, says he doesn't like it there. Don't be disheartened. The most important thing is that he's alive and well. He'll learn as time goes on. Well, remember yourself at his age. What were you up to? Can't deny that, right? Yes, you're right, but still, things were different back then. The generation has changed a lot, and I'm very glad to come across such smart and active youth like your daughter, for example. Soon enough, Mr. Nicholas's son Peter actually arrived. He was very handsome, confident, spoke different languages fluently, and had excellent knowledge of banking. Anna didn't like him right away. His merits paled in comparison to his arrogance and impudence. He could easily offend someone without considering whether they were older or younger. However, he treated Anna decently. He tried not to bother her because on their first day at work, they had a minor clash, after which she put him in his place. Besides, she decided to ignore him altogether, especially since she had to work directly with Mr. Nicholas, so she hardly saw him. She continued to see Oliver, who worked at a firm and had greatly changed for the better. He changed his image, switched from his outdated glasses to contact lenses, and became an attractive young man. A year later, he proposed to Anna, and she agreed. I hope you will invite me to your wedding, Anna, Mr. Nicholas asked her as he was signing her application for a 2-week leave. I can't miss such an occasion. Here's the invitation, and have pulled out a beautiful card from her purse featuring 2 swans among flowers and wedding rings. Do you really think I would forget to invite my dear boss? You're like a father to me here at work, you know that perfectly well. I know, my dear, and you know I would give anything for you to marry my son instead of Oliver. But I know you can't command your heart. Besides, it's almost impossible to love a fool like my son. Don't be so sure. A good girl will love him. Love has a way of changing people drastically. After the wedding, Oliver and Anna went on a cruise abroad. Mr. Nicholas had organized it for them, wanting Anna to be happy. I didn't know I had such a boss. Did you think I did? Someone who doesn't care about anyone. But I see he's pretty cool, giving such gifts. Nicholas is a good guy. He's friends with my dad. He visits our home almost every day. He just didn't have luck with his son. He's so arrogant and mean. Yes, that will pass. Although if my dad had that much money, I don't know what I'd be like, maybe the same. It's good that your parents aren't wealthy, otherwise, we probably wouldn't have met. Hey, Anna, could you talk to your Uncle Nicholas about me? I would also like to work with you guys. Why not? The salary is excellent, and we could buy an apartment together. Nicholas said he even gifted us an apartment. There's some renovation going on, though. It will be ready by the time we arrive. Unbelievable, it feels like I've stepped into a fairy tale. And did he happen to gift us a car too? Anna looked at Oliver, unsure if he was joking or not, but he had a serious expression. Apparently, he really wanted a car as well. That's not possible, Oliver. I think the apartment is already too much, but Nicholas insisted. What? Why is it too much? It's perfectly fine. When people have that kind of money, they should help their employees. Upon returning from the cruise and moving into the new luxurious apartment that seemed extravagant to Anna, she went to work. Mr. Nicholas hugged Anna and said he missed her a lot. Well, naturally, a lot of work had piled up while she was away, so she had to get right to it. "How do you like the apartment, Anna?" "It's simply magnificent, Uncle Nicholas." "I still can't believe it." "It's all for you, my dear. By the way, I've put it in your name and arranged everything so that if you and Oliver ever separate, the apartment will remain yours." "Uncle Nicholas, why would you do that?" "I have no intention of parting ways." "I know, my dear. I know, and I don't want that either. But life has its surprises. For instance, I was quite surprised by my son's reaction to your wedding. If I didn't know him so well, I might have thought he was in love with you. I'm not his type, Uncle Nicholas. I wanted to talk to you about Oliver and work." Meanwhile, Oliver was happy. He now worked at the city's top bank. Not to mention this bank had branches everywhere, even abroad. He had become part of this huge financial empire. Unconsciously, he had become more arrogant and conceited. He spoke down to people who sought his advice. He was haughty and often rude. "Oliver, you can't treat people like that. They've come to you for help, and you speak to them that way. How else should I deal with these beggars? If I don't put them in their place right away, they'll step all over me. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." Soon, Oliver bought himself a new car and started disappearing frequently. He was often absent from work. They had been living together for a year, and Anna began to think about having children. She thought that if she gave birth to Oliver's child, he would calm down and become the person he used to be. She took a day off from her boss and went to the hospital to have tests done and talked to a doctor. But the news was disheartening. The doctor immediately told her that she couldn't have children. "It seems you were seriously ill in your childhood, and it has affected your reproductive organs. So, is there nothing that can be done?" "Well, unless you go abroad, but even then, there's no guarantee. So it's not worth spending that kind of money if the outcome is uncertain." After leaving the hospital, Anna went to Lucy's mother and tearfully told her everything. "Don't cry, my dear. You and your husband will save up money and go. As long as there's hope, you have to try everything, otherwise, you'll regret it for the rest of your life for not giving it a shot." "Do you really think so?" Anna asked, hopefully. "Yes, because if doctors told me the same thing, I would have gone without hesitation. But I never had any chance at all." Anna waited for her husband to come home from work so she could talk to him. She told him everything and then added that there was a small chance if she went abroad for treatment. "Are you out of your mind? It costs so much money." "I don't agree." "Well, Oliver, we are family, and we'll manage together. I'll ask Uncle Nicholas for the money, and then we'll work it off." "I don't agree. I'm not ready to become a father yet. Things are good between us right now, we're just starting our life together, and you're ruining it all. Let's think about this in 2 or 3 years, but for now, there's no talk of children. And I believe it's too early for us to think about them." Anna realized that arguing and trying to prove something to her husband was pointless. It was clear that he wouldn't agree. Their relationship had already become cold legally, and after this argument, Oliver stopped talking altogether. Anna immersed herself in work, dreaming of saving up money and going for treatment on their own, without asking anyone. In between tasks, she searched for good clinics, and that's when Mr. Nicholas caught her engrossed in this activity. "In Germany, they will help you. There are excellent specialists there, so don't search anymore. Go there when you're ready." "Uncle Nicholas, how do you know? Did Father tell you?" "Yes, but don't be angry with him. He's worried about you, and he knows the reason why this happened to you. He recently told me. You know, dear, after something like this, women often become bitter. I've seen many who had a difficult childhood, but you, on the contrary, are always ready to help. You always did, along with people. Well, no one is to blame for my problems, so why should I take it out on them? Thanks for the advice." As soon as my husband and I are ready, I'll go right away. With your husband, you know, Anna, he's not a good person. I'm sorry to say this, but I couldn't keep it to myself. So don't rely too much on him. Oliver didn't spend the night at home for 2 days, and he didn't show up at work either. Peter entered Anna's office to inquire why Oliver wasn't at his workplace. I'm sorry, Mr. Peter, but I don't know where he is either, Anna. What happened? Maybe you need my help? No, thank you. There are no problems. Oliver only appeared on the 4th day. He entered the apartment, turned on the TV, and sat in the armchair. Anna, who was preparing dinner, heard that her husband had come home and headed towards him. Where were you? You weren't at work or at home. This is not acceptable, Oliver. At least let me know where you are. What business is it of yours, really? Why are you bothering me? Yes, I don't care about you or your job. And, by the way, I love another woman. Got it? I'm willing to do anything for her, but I don't need you. You're nothing but a wooden log in bed, and it turns out you're infertile too. I don't need a wife like that, someone who's always a problem, Oliver. What's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? Everything can be fixed. I told you, no. I think I'll pass on that. I'm leaving you. He stood up, slammed the door loudly, and left the apartment. She didn't go to work and cried all night. And with such a face, it was better to stay home. She poured herself a cup of coffee and sat in the kitchen to calmly drink it and think about how to live on. At that moment, someone rang the doorbell. She thought it was probably someone from the bank with documents she needed to review. After all, in the morning, she called Mr. Nicholas and informed him that she wouldn't be going to work. To her surprise, when she opened the door, she saw Peter. He took a whiff of the aroma coming from the kitchen and said, "Hi, can't you pour me a cup too? The smell is simply divine." Then he looked at Anna and asked, "Anna, something happened?" Anna walked into the kitchen, poured some coffee, and said quietly, "My husband left me yesterday. He said he doesn't want to live with someone like me, that I'm nothing but trouble." Anna herself didn't expect this from herself. She preferred not to share her personal life with anyone, and here she was, not even realizing how she spilled everything out. What an idiot he is. Listen, Anna, come on, get ready. You can't be alone at home in this state right now. I'm fine, protested Anna. Anna, let's go. I promise you'll enjoy our outing. Half an hour later, they were already driving in Peter's car. Anna asked where they were going, but Peter said she would soon see for herself. He drove her to a country house that he had built according to his own design, and he wanted to show her his pride, the winter garden that he had created in the center of the house. Even her father hadn't seen this wonder yet. Anna would be the first. It's magnificent. It's like magic. Did you come up with this yourself? You know, I've dreamed of a house like this since childhood. My dad, of course, is angry with me for turning out this way. I had a difficult childhood. My father worked a lot, and my mother started drinking and sometimes even hit me when I asked her, for example, for something to eat or drink. When he divorced her and took me with him, I blamed him for everything. I told him he could have at least tried to save the family. And then he sent me to study abroad. And when I came back and saw you, Anna, everything changed within me. I built this house for us. I understand that you have just separated from your husband, but I'll wait because I love you very much. My dad and I have found a clinic for you. They're already waiting for you. Anna went to work and learned that Mr. Nicholas had fired Oliver because he couldn't tolerate his attitude toward work anymore. If you knew what he was saying to me, like he would live just fine without it. By the way, do you know where he was disappearing all the time? Anna shook her head negatively. Your little husband, or rather, ex-husband now, was spending all that time at a casino with some woman. He lost everything he had, even his car. Anna divorced her husband and started dating Peter. 3 months later, he proposed to her, and she accepted. Anna's parents and Mr. Nicholas were very happy about it. Peter said that after the wedding, they would immediately go for treatment. I'll go with my wife. I'm afraid someone might steal her there. Anna was getting ready for the trip and packing her things. Peter went to his father's workplace to take care of some matters. She was very happy. She could see that her husband loved her very much and literally carried her on his hands. There was a ring at the door, and she went to open it. Oliver was standing on the doorstep, but he looked so terrible that she didn't even recognize him at first. Anna, forgive me. I was wrong. I'm ready to come back and start over. Anna looked at her ex-husband, smiled, and said, No, Oliver. You'll handle everything just fine on your own. I only brought you problems. Besides, I recently remarried, and now I'm leaving the country. So sorry, I won't be able to help you anymore. Besides, as far as I know, you're a strong person, and I have nothing to do by your side. She closed the door and continued packing her things. She had a trip to Germany ahead of her. Thank you for joining us today on Deep Stories. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video.